So how much were you able to pay in the military? Were you making 70, 80,000 in that year, or how did your pay work as far as being able to pay off that amount of debt?
Well, because in the military, so I was an E5, and if I'm looking it up right now, I was an E5 making, I don't know, about 30, 40. But again, it was tax free, and then it had all the bonuses on top of that, as far as hazard duty
Okay,
pay and stuff like that, which pushed it up to those levels. And then when it pushed up to those levels, of course, adding on BAH and stuff like that, it allowed me to pay off the debt.
gotcha.
But I had no money. When I came back a year from being deployed, it was all went towards paying off debt, and that was it.
And when you started learning about investing, was it during that time or was it after your debt was paid?
Learning about investing because again, I had the Dave Ramsey, but the thing was I had a cousin, she's passed now, but I had a cousin, I knew she had a degree in finance, and then she just showed me how the stock market went. Like you buy something, it appreciates over time, and then you sell it for the profit. But during that time when I was in Iraq, what happened was I was because then I didn't know it was a great recession. I didn't know any of those things. What I did know was times was hard back in the States. And then one day I'm walking through the dining facility in Mosul, Iraq. That's where I was at, Mosul, Iraq. And Fox News was on, and they said on there the headline going across the screen that said, "This is the greatest recession since the Great Depression." And the Great Depression recovered, then this will recover too. Race back to my room after that. I eat dinner and then I race back to my room and I call my cousin and I asked her, I said, "Hey, how do the stock market goes?" She had no idea because she never invested, but she, just replication that came from the classes that she took when she was in college. And she told me, and that was my first indoctrination into it. And then, you add on, Dave Ramsey was talking about how, invest in good growth mutual funds and, yada, yada, yada. That was my first inkling of investing, but actually stepping into the stock market, she helped me buy my first stock. My first stock was Merck, MRK. That was my first stock I ever bought. I'll never forget it. And, and that for me on the investment front, on top of having income outside of a job.